Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Got a Sims 4 build video here. I decided to take care of the Goths. My version of the Goths. I hope nobody is offended by this. I just feel like they deserve more than what they have, and they deserve to be treated a little bit better than they are. Now, it could all be in my head. I'm sure it's all in my head. It's a game. This Oakenstead has always been a bone of contention with me as far as the game goes. I don't understand it any more than I understand the Lewis Kims, who live in practically the best house in the entire world of Willow Creek, and none of them work. None of them work. I think the woman, the young woman, she was a barista one time, and I can't remember what she did, like an artist or something. I don't remember, but they just don't work, yet they live in the best house. It was very confusing to me. But the Goths have been with this game forever, and they got a creepy house on a tiny lot with, I think they had 45,000 simoleons between them. So I took their house off the gallery. I demolished that ugly Oakenstead, and I gave them the 50 by 50 lot, so they would have much more. I also gave them a ton of money, because this house turned out to be quite valuable, 257,000 something simoleons. But they took all of their furniture with them. I haven't sold any of it yet, but they have about 200,000 simoleons left after all is said and done. Then they got their bills, because I was trying to get everybody adjusted before I did the walkthrough. My goodness. The pop-ups were unbearable after about 5 minutes. I also couldn't get the weather to change. For some reason, it started snowing. It was winter. And I have MC Command Center, but it just wouldn't stop snowing. And they were all excited that it was snowing. And I kept putting them in the house, and they would run outside, want to have a snowball fight, build a snowman, glory in the snow. And I'm like, wow, it was tough. But the pop-ups were just so continuous. Mortimer's having trouble at work. Kids are having trouble at school. Should she like this? Should he like that? That I ended up just pausing the whole tour. I don't normally like doing that because I have a fountain here. I have a pond. And I love showing off my ponds. And I just couldn't do it here because, like I said, even with them at work, you get work pop-ups, you get school pop-ups, and that has never happened to me before. But I think because it's such a large family, that's the reason. You have to deal with every single one of them at once. I got to get used to playing this game again. I'm serious. It's kind of crazy. I did keep every aspect of the architecture. I just changed walls, furnishing, some of the flooring, and some of the color choices. I know that Bella is iconic for red, but I feel like in the 21st century, she deserves an update. I don't know how to word this. She should stay as she is in spirit, not in theory. Is that what I'm trying to say? I went through a ton of should I, shouldn't I, is what I'm trying to explain. So I did offshoots of red, offshoots of purple. She's family oriented, but she's also wants to be a party animal. I'm a little confused. But I've read into her lore several times, and I honestly contemplated changing the name from Goth to Bachelor Goth, because her maiden name is Bachelor. and she married a Goth. And the lore I hear from YouTubers is that Mortimer deliberately got rid of her so that he could get with that Caliente chick, the one who is currently shagging Don Lothario? I don't know. And that really upset me for the longest time. But when I read the wiki article, there was no mention of that. All it said is that Bella was on Don Lothario's porch looking in a telescope when she was abducted by aliens, and that was the end of Bella Goth. She came back, I think, in Sims 3 and had Alexander. And that was the end of the lore. So I don't know that Mortimer did anything that horrific to deserve, to be punished or anything. But I was punishing him for the longest time because I assumed he was behind her abduction. Because I heard from one simmer that he had it all planned out to get rid of Bella, and Alexander saw it. He knows what his father did, and that's why Alex is relegated to the attic of the house with hardly any furnishings. But that didn't make sense when you look at the Sims 4 house, because it looks more like Mortimer's private den. There's a desk there with, I think there was a computer or something on it, bookcase. However, Alex never did have a room. He never had a bedroom, even in The Sims 4. So it kind of made sense, and then after reading into it more, I'm kind of leaning toward Mortimer really wasn't such a bad guy, but I don't know. That's according to the wiki article. This is so silly, getting into serious discussion about a game. I feel silly doing it, but at the same time, it's the reason behind my wanting to do this. I'm happy that they have a huge lot. I love the way everything turned out. There were a few minor glitches. The roof gave me trouble, so I ended up having to get rid of part of the roof and the second floor balcony in the back. It just wasn't working out. I really wanted them to have a family space on the first floor, but I loved the fireplace sitting area. So I gave them a half wall and put a TV on it with a few chairs. It probably looks a little out of place for the build, but I'm not unhappy with the way that turned out either. Color choices. Not something I would go to on a daily basis. They're quite in your face, but I think the house itself demands this type of over-the-top ornate feature to it. I could be wrong. The flooring in the front foyer of the first floor was marble, and then everything else was this cheap wood. So I went with wood in certain spots, but I wanted to keep that marble throughout the entrance area. The kitchen stayed the same. All of the rooms are where they normally should be. I didn't widen anything. I didn't smaller anything. Shorten anything. I don't know. But I did want to change up a bit of the color. Cassandra is the only one that kind of throws me for a loop. I know that Alex is a genius, and he's very nerdy. So I tried to keep that in mind when I created his room, decorated his room. Cassandra, I don't get it. I thought she was a nerd as well. I thought she was very intelligent, wanted to do well in school, but I had no idea what her career path was. And I forgot to really look into her when I was playing these guys. But she seems flaky to me. the whole time I was running this, trying to get a good position to do the tour, she stood in the kitchen making coffee and drinking it, making coffee and drinking it. She never went to sleep. She never ate. The only thing she did was go to school and come home. And the minute she came home, she went right back into the kitchen and made more coffee. She has everything a teenager could want in her room. I even gave her music. And she just stands in front of the coffee machine. She did crawl upstairs for one brief moment, hop into her parents' bed, took about a 30-second nap, and then got right back up and went back into the kitchen. I don't know if she's doing her homework or what. So I don't know if her color choices were the right ones. My color choices for her room were correct. I don't know. I could have completely flubbed that, and I wouldn't know it. I liked this kitchen. I always have. The setup is kind of unique and interesting, but I also felt that there were just too many counters. So I tried to eliminate a few. I gave them top of the line everything. I tried, in most cases, to give them the best of the best. But I don't know how well I succeeded. So in the kitchen here, yeah, this would probably add to the total cost of the house itself. I had trouble with the end cupboards, as you can plainly tell. I always do. I don't know why that option is even there if you can never snap it onto anything. Once in a great while it'll work, but most of the time it just doesn't. I kept looking for the cookbooks in my inventory, and no matter what I typed, it just didn't come up. But then later on, I was looking for something else. I found the cookbooks, and I ended up putting them in the kitchen here. At least I got those. But then I found out that none of them can even cook. And I was very worried for a while that they were going to burn the whole thing down, but nobody did. Mortimer likes to cook, but he's at level 1 and Bella is at level 0. That isn't even on her skills chart. So I was worried about that. I also forgot to give her any gardening, and it said in her bio, is that it? That she was into gardening. But I didn't know that until it was too late. So I suppose I could go back and put a couple plots down. I don't know. Also, it looked like she was wearing something in the astronaut career, and I thought she was a spy. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm even wrong looking at her shirt. But you'll see in the after tour, she's wearing something really odd. Now, this wallpaper here in the music room. Normally, I give this room to Alex. However, he is the youngest. He has the best legs. He can make it all the way up to the top and all the way back down. No problem. So I put him back up in the attic. And I kept this as the music room because they are a musically inclined family. Even Mortimer is interested in music. So I kept all of this here. That should have been a door to the balcony, and I completely forgot about it. So I ended up putting a chair and a bookcase and a flower, and it looked so pretty. I didn't want to get rid of this. So I eliminated the second floor balcony. It was probably dumb. Maybe I could have had something off of Cassandra's room. Well, maybe I could go back and do that too. I don't know. I like the way it is, so I'm not really going to touch too much up. But I thought that was a really pretty little nook there, so I kept it. Dumb me. Should have thought about it a little bit harder before I made that, but when you're in the flow, you just go with it. And then when you're done, you look back and you're like, oops, oh dear, oh wait, oh no. And that happens to me all the time. But I hope you're enjoying this. I am so sorry it's such a long video. I'm not a fan of long videos. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't mind watching them, but I know a lot of people do. I also understand that these speed build videos are not much of a thing anymore. Absolutely aware of that. However, as I was doing this, I tried doing it live and it was taking way too long and I just wasn't saying anything because I was concentrating too much on what I was doing. So I cut the audio part, and I edited as much of this as I could. Maybe I should have edited more, I don't know. But I would like in the future to do live. I think I've mentioned this at least twice, if not more. I would like to be able to do that, to just sit down and talk my way through what it is I'm doing. It never works because I go silent and I just sit there thinking, staring, glancing through inventory or build mode items and should this go here? Should that go there? Do I really want to use that? Maybe I could do. That's all it is. And that has got to be more boring than I am already. It just isn't working for me. I've got to, I think, train myself to be able to speak that way. Pretend that like somebody is sitting across the desk from me. And maybe that will work better. I don't know. But this is Cassandra's room. I gave her brighter colors, lighter colors. I know she's gothy, but I think she's also girly in a way. And maybe that's because in one of the Sims, was it Sims 2? She wanted to marry Don Lothario and he jilted her. That gives me the impression that she's got a bit of heart. So I played off of that when I was decorating her room. And this is probably the most controversial of all the rooms. Maybe not, but in my mind I'm thinking it is, because it's all black and white. And for Bella Goth, that might not be a great thing. However, in thinking of it from realistic terms, if your favorite color is red and a majority of your house is red, you're going to want at least one room in the house where it's not, where it's absolutely neutral, and you can unwind, get everything out of your head, and just relax. And that to me would be the bedroom. So that's why I chose to do this. But yeah, see that ugly flooring? I left it because it was black. But I don't know why they gave them such a... I don't even think it's going the right way. I have trouble with that, with wood plank floors being laid out the wrong direction. It just drives me up a wall. And I don't think they're in the right direction. If you're building the house, you start at the door, or you walk to the end of the room and make your way back to the door. So why would you come through the door and then turn sideways and start laying plank across? That's not how I see it. And I could be completely wrong. The windows are another thing. I might as well mention that. Yes, they're not standard. They're not quite like the rest of the windows in the house. But for these personal private areas, I just wanted more light in this house. It was so dark and overbearing. I know those windows have nothing to do with the Victorian style. But it's so hard to get me to use those ugly, disgusting base game windows. I just can't stand them. And I apologize for that. It's so hard for me to choose those and use them. It's all metal frame. And I just don't like it. And the color swatches are absolutely hideous. And they don't match anything else that goes with the... like the doors and the frames and things like that. So I kind of hipped it up. I modernized it a bit. Actually, it's a bit of a hodgepodge. But I ended up using quite a few of the Realm of Magic elements. I think I gave them a very pleasing backyard as well. And I switched the chimney. I don't know why that chimney was just sticking out of the roof there. I checked it at the beginning. I'm like, there isn't even a fireplace here. The fireplace is on the kitchen wall. So I made a chimney coming up in that direction instead. So it should cover the kitchen stove and the fireplace in the family room. We ended up ordering pizza because I was terrified that they were going to burn my house down. So the pizza guy's standing there. I don't mind the Realm of Magic windows. I think they're very beautiful. The door and some of the paintings. Well, let's say Realm of Magic and vampires consist mostly of the items in this house. But I did funky as well. I did unique. And I did very different from what you would assume would be in this place. So yes, it is a hodgepodge, but I think it's a comfy, cozy hodgepodge. You might disagree with me, and I will apologize if you don't see it. That's how I feel about it. I'm not unhappy with what I did. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. When we get to the second floor, you will see how unhappy I am. I think this turned out okay. So she's got her red, but I also threw in some purple. Those curtains make me want to scream. I hate curtains in this game. They're actually drapes. I just don't like them. I don't like them. I wasn't a fan of the mirrors either, but after a while it grew on me. See, there she is. That's all she does. I don't get it. Again, top of the line fancy items in here. Yes, I did use the cow and chicken vent over the stove, but it matched so nicely that I thought, well, hey, that looks Victorian. And it's red. So I went with that. But I'm not displeased with the way, at least the first floor came out. Bella and Mortimer's bedroom and bathroom and Alex's room. I really liked those most. This was already here. I just changed things up a bit. Gave them lighter walls. I know that door doesn't really fit there, but it looks good from the outside. This is too long of a video. I like that red, but I don't like that the stairs do that. That's very upsetting to me. I thought they fixed a lot of these issues. And speaking of issues, I kept saying, I'm not having a lag problem like everybody else. Well, guess what? Wow. I'm wondering if it's because the lot is too big and there are too many items. But am I thinking Animal Crossing or Sims 4? I don't know. But the lag was just unbearable. That's why I'm saying I'm sorry that I had to pause this whole thing just to get it to work. And then, of course, you have the issue of moving up, going from first floor to second floor, and then second floor to third floor. The camera goes berserk. And I tried my best to get as good of a handle on it as I could, and I just don't think I did. This wallpaper, yeah, not in the bedroom here. I love this bedroom. I think it is so elegant and so charming. I hope you agree. They even have a little balcony thing out there. I gave them as much privacy as I could, but they're just looking across the street at the bay, so it doesn't really matter. But I think it's so charming. And those windows, I love those. Enchanted Land windows? What? I don't remember. Realm of Magic. So this is probably my favorite room in the whole house. No, I like the living room and I like the second floor music room. I just hate the wallpaper. Oh my gosh. First of all, I kept reading the description and I think it said bats in the belfry. And I'm like, do they have bats on there? But it just looks so good from a distance. I'm like, this is really pretty and I want to use it. And maybe I should. No, I know I shouldn't have because it's all bats. But another thing I noticed about Bella, yeah, this wallpaper is just horrible. I didn't see it until I got up really close. I'm like, those are bats. Now here's the improved second floor bathroom for the kids. I think it's really, really, again, cheerful, airy. I gave them laundry. Hope they can deal with it. What was I talking about? Oh, I completely lost my train of thought. Well, we're going up to Alex's room here, and the camera's going to go cuckoo. I tried really hard. I gave them some privacy there, but again, they really don't need it looking out on the bay. The only issue they have is with the Lewis Kims up the hill there. So I tried to put as many trees in that corner of their yard as I could. But I think this is an adorable room. It's very brightly colored. He has plenty of windows and a ton to do. He has so many activities to do. There's no way he could get bored. And yet again, all he did was complain about being hungry, make messes on the floor, and go to school. So now we're just going to take you outside real quick. I'll show you my yard. I like the way it turned out. I was surprised that I could get as much done because it felt like the space got eaten up rather quickly. I feel bad that there are only 3 fire chairs, bonfire chairs there. I don't want to exclude Alex. The Sims don't tend to do anything as a group anyway. If one goes there, maybe 2 might follow, 1 or 2. But never the whole family all together at once. So yeah, there's my pond. I thought I would get 1 duck, 1 mom and 1 dad, and I ended up getting 3 each. And then I kept the front as normal as I could. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. I hope you have a fabulous day as well. Take care now. Bye-bye.